Hey, good evening. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. We're back from a busy day out today. We had, something of an exciting start this morning, which, just got something in my eye. We had a start that we would certainly hope will not be repeated, but anyway, it happens in a place where rabies is it rampant or not? Well, it's rampant enough that there are, in every hospital, there is a special animal bite department, whatever you would call that, ward section. Beth, this morning we've done a video on this, but I wanted to talk about the fact that it's not the first time that we've done the rabies thing, rabies shots. Now, we have a walk-in cat, and this cat, like some of the dogs that we have, like I tell you about, warrior dog suddenly decided that this is where he'd like to live, and just by sheer perseverance, by just being there until finally I welcomed him over and patted him on the head, and he allowed me to pat him on the head, and he's been here ever since. And I call him the warrior dog because he started off as a sex tourist coming in to meet with our ladies, so to speak, and stayed. Well, we also have a cat that we've agreed to call Coco again, even though he is Coco number 2. Looks like Golden, is all of the same colouring, except that he's male, and he's very much male. You can see a thickening of the neck. He's much more, when you pet him, he's much more sturdy, solid. Our Golden is slender, feminine if you wish, and nothing like the build of our Coco 2. Well, Coco 2 has been behaving like Golden, loves to be petted, will squirm about on his back, turning over this way and turning over that way while you stroke him and tickle him, and he just loves it. I always felt a little bit cautious with Coco 2 because we didn't really know him that well. Now with Coco 1, I wouldn't have any of it. He wasn't interested in really much interaction with somebody that he owned, me. So that was a cat at a distance. But boy, Coco 2 is different. Likes to be petted, likes to be scratched and cuddled and stroked and played with. But you can see that because he is almost like a feral cat, he could actually easily turn. And I'd mentioned to Beth once, you need to be careful with Coco. He's not the same as Golden. So, I mean, what Beth does with Golden doesn't bear thinking about, and the cat just adores her, and she can do anything with Golden, and Golden just puts up with it all with a dreamy look on her face. So Golden is another cat, right? Golden likes to sit on my shoulder and bite my ears, and if she sits, she might even come around and bite me on the nose as well. Oh, love bites, okay? I'm not turning you on, am I? Okay, just asking, okay. So, what happened? Well, Beth had picked up Coco 2 and was petting and tickling his ears and all that good stuff that he just loved. Unfortunately, 3 of the dogs wanted to get in on the act and wanted to get some tickling and cuddling and stroking as well. And they came rushing over and actually went up to Beth, because unfortunately they're jumpers. Basher is a jumper, and the others tend to follow suit. Well, Coco got freaked out and went to attack one of the dogs. I mean, this is a brave cat and could get in a lot of trouble, but has been seeing off the dogs because they're fairly young dogs and they're small dogs. So he's been attacking the dogs and sending them running. Well, Beth got her hand in the way. That's one of the things that I guess you have to be very careful of. Whenever we get the dogs fighting, and when they're fighting, make no mistake, this is serious stuff and they will hurt each other and draw blood, as we've seen with our little Poggy. Poggy has been left out to see if he can fend for himself with the rest of the mob, of the pack. Hasn't done too well and he's got 3 injuries, probably all at the same time. But anyway, Beth got her hand in the way trying to stop the fight, and the mouth jaw came down and closed on this part here, and she's got 2 puncture marks, one there and one here, only 2, one each, 1, 2, and she came hurrying back into the house where I was still getting ready, and she said, "The cat bit me," and she's got blood all over her hand. So it wasn't a little one. It didn't just pierce the skin, it hurt. So down to the hospital just coincided with people visiting. So not only did we have a visit up at the house, Brian and Marisol came, and so we sat and chatted to them for a little while, and they followed us down the hill to see if our ailing hero, Little Red, was going to get us there, and it did. And we did what we had to do along the way. But eventually, what we were doing was going to meet 2 visitors. So we were going to meet Ray and his lady, and we actually had to let Beth go in a tricycle. She went off to the hospital and signed up there, and it was sometime later when she came back, and I think she had breakfast before she went. And then we've got 2 other visitors again, and with the trouble on the truck, it's been a pretty busy day. But we still managed to take a work in progress on the road, and we're now going on to the next stretch of the road. A lot of this is courtesy of our friend Edgar, who is allowing us to run up some credit at his store in Atafi. And these credits are not small amounts, 8, 10, 11,000. Yeah, because when you're doing concrete, you need rebar, you need cement, you need sand, and you need gravel, and they all cost. We did go to the guy who owns. There's one place that will actually deliver on time, usually, and they've been delivering the sand and gravel. And we asked him if he would give us a break. We said, "Look, we're doing this road parts that we're doing. It's not for us. It's for the barangay. It's a public road. Can't you give us a break on the money? Can't you give us a break on the materials that we're ordering through your store, your yard?" And anyway, he agreed that he would do that. So we're getting a little break there. He was charging more because of his delivery record. He was charging more than Edgar was charging. So he asked, and he took it on trust when I said, well, it's I believe it was $240 for premium cement. So he said, "I'll give you premium cement at $240. How's that?" Which was better than nothing. So we're back home. still at work. It's 20 to 9. We started at about 5 this morning. Usually, we usually, because the internet is particularly good at like 4, from 4 onwards, it's pretty good. So we tend to answer a lot of the comments about 4 in the morning, sometimes 3:30, and later we come and we do editing and we make videos like this. We're actually at 8:40 right now. So I will be working on doing some of these kind of videos: Girl in Chains, Little Red, Often and a Hero of the Hour, and History Repeats Itself of Rabies. And that's how it goes. That's kind of how our day goes. Not sure how long that will go on, but we're still struggling. We're trying to get people to help us that we can actually trust. Money wise is an obvious thing. How can we trust someone? But the other thing is even handling the comments. It's really not as easy as you might think, because if they have access to our comments, they have access to our work, and all of our records are there. And a mistake by someone who we're really not sure about, not talking about a lack of trust now, talking about a mistake, it could easily just wipe it all out, and we'd be lost then, because we've got it must be over 5,000 videos now. So those are treasures for us. So Beth had to go to the hospital. She went to the hospital. They gave her a tetanus shot. As you may know, I'm not overjoyed at the whole injection thing anyway, these inoculations, but Beth makes her own choices on these things. We're taking her back first thing, and they will give her the anti-rabies shot. Now, rabies is serious here, as I've said before. Thousands of children a year are lost to rabies, and that's because kids the world over can be not mean. Well, they can be mean, obviously, but even the ones that love their dogs don't realize how rough they're being with them, and they can easily be nipped by a dog. And that's what you're up against with a small child. In fact, don't you see lots of videos on YouTube of just how incredibly patient and tolerant some dogs are with little babies, having their ears pulled and their mouth, all of this, and they never ever hurt the little one. And sometimes it works the other way. So we'll get the rabies shot. Why is it history repeats itself? Well, because I was bitten when we were living in Basak and in Cebu. I went to a sari store, bent down to a little tiny opening where you get served, down like this, and said, "Oh, now can I have?" And a dog that belonged to the woman jumped up and got me right here. Could have been a lot worse. It was only a tiny little puncture room, but it did break the skin. So I had to go to the hospital, and it cost a lot of money. Some of those shots were like 7,000 pesos for one shot. I had about 15 shots. Now some of them are all on the same serum, treatment, injection. And what they do is they'll take the needle and they'll go whatever, and very unpleasant. And they'll do injections like this, and then into the hand, because as soon as I went like that, the dog got me in the hand as well. So it's kind of history repeating itself unpleasantly. We'll let you know how things are going, but we're not terribly worried. It was a cat, not a dog, so we're grateful for that. But the bad news is that we don't know this cat. It's not like Golden. Golden, if Golden bit me, I wouldn't go for all of these rabies shots again. I just wouldn't. Golden we brought up since she was a tiny kitten that fitted in my hand, almost like this. So, yeah, no doubt you'll tell me I'm wrong on that, but that's how I felt. Well, back to the grindstone tomorrow, getting materials. Need 30 more bags of cement. We need 30 more 20-foot lengths of 10mm rebar. They call it MM here. So, back to work tomorrow, and taking our friends who are visiting, and we'll be taking Michael and his girlfriend Lenny, and we'll be doing that. I think I said the wrong name a little while ago. Sorry. We're having a terrific number of guests just lately, and sometimes difficult to keep up. That's all from me. Foreigner in the Philippines, life is never boring.